back to the part where we're talking about like finding diversity and like more people should put their hands up. Like I know when we do our event, I'll put out like a call for speakers, and it's just 90% white men who apply. So like to have proper diversity, like we have to go hunt for it.
Exactly.
It's not people applying, which is interesting because like, so for instance, like you had your show on HGTV, like did you have to go out, put your hand up for that? Did they come find you? How did that work?
That was who you know, to be honest. Yeah. So I did 2 shows on HGTV. The first one, Marriage Under Construction. The producer of that, so the guy who came up with the original idea and was looking to create a pilot, asked my Aunt Kathy. He's, they share a best friend, and my Aunt Kathy she's really the CEO of Remax Specialist. She's my dad's sister and right-hand person. She knows what he's thinking before he's thought it. And she was like, had 4 kids at home at the time and was running Specialist, and she was like, I'm not going downtown, better yet on camera, so no. Yeah. But you should meet my niece. So I have to credit that to my Aunt Kathy. And then the producers of For Rent had seen an episode of Marriage Under Construction and said, that girl has good camera presence or is comfortable on camera or whatever. Yeah. But that's not to say I had mascara down to my toes for the first 3 months of filming, because I was like, am I going to be portrayed as intelligent and kind and knowledgeable about real estate? Like it was.
Well, you were my wife's favorite show for a while, so you came off well.
That is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, that was a wonderful experience. I'm so glad I said yes, and I know that they went through a bunch of agents, like a bunch of downtown agents. I was living downtown at the time, who said no because it was rentals, and I was like, no. I guess maybe I'm in a different position where I knew I was selling real estate, and I got going selling. Maybe quicker because I had some of my dad's past clients' kids and whatever. So, and I had that opportunity for the townhouses. So I had some money flowing, and I knew I had the opportunity to have a management role at Specialist in the future. So I thought even if my real estate sales business decreases a little bit while I'm doing this, financially, I'll be okay in the long run. Yeah. So maybe that put me in a different position where I was okay to have my name associated with the rentals, because I was like, this is a life experience. Yeah. Like this is like, do you tell your grandchildren, I could have been on TV, but I didn't? Or I had a TV show, grandma had a TV show, So that was, they found me.
And how do you find it's actually affected your business from how it was then to what it's done now? How long has it been off the air now?
It still runs. I still have people be like, oh, I'm watching your marathon. Yeah.
Or how long have you stopped filming it?
We stopped filming it when Oliver was born, so 7.5 years ago. We did 65 episodes over a course of 2.5 years. While we were filming, I got married and had both of my boys. I was pregnant on camera for 40 of the 65 episodes.
Did they try to hide that at all?
Yes, they tried to hide it quite a bit. Yeah. And then it gets to the point where you can't really hide that. Yeah. So there's one season where I'm large and in charge. And in fact, I feel like I probably should have called you. I mean, if you were around back then, I feel like I kind of failed on the opportunity that show provided, because I never did a website. There was never a filtration system that was like, hey, here's Jodi Gilmour from HGTVs For Rent. Yes, here's a team of people who will help you with your rental. But what I really like to do is sell houses. Mm-hmm. And part of that is I already had my management hat on. I was already the broker of record of my dad's office. I was already, on the management team at his office and had some responsibilities there. I was getting married, I was having babies. So I didn't use the opportunity as well as I could. Yeah. Did I have a couple of deals that landed on my lap because people were like, I already know you, I already trust you, you feel like you're my big sister, can you please help me with this transaction? Absolutely. I had a couple of deals. But there are lots, if you look at the opportunity that Samantha Pinn has had, or that even Sandra Rianamato in her heyday, right? She turned it into a really good opportunity. Mike Holmes had the exact same start, and look at his opportunity, right?
Yeah, it's gone through Baumler.
Baumler, exactly, yeah, exactly. So
would you do it again?
Yes, but not right now. And I get calls.
Yeah.
I get calls at least once a year. I probably get a phone call from some sort of a TV show. And I mean, I have 3 kids. I have 3 kids and 155 agents. So
you have 158 kids.
So I have 158 children. And with the agents, it's like herding cats, but you need to, I want to be there for them. I don't want to let them down. So at this point in my career, I think that's a no. Yeah. Would I regret that? Now going back to am I going to be that grandma who said no to the TV show? I mean, I had the one, it was fantastic. I think if I could find a way to make it benefit my agents, I would totally do it. And I've tried that a bunch of times. I've tried to like, hey, how about we spin it like this?
Yeah.
And
like $1 million listing, poor credit.
Right. Yeah. Or like brokerage, like the family brokerage business. And then the family was like, we don't want to be exposed like that. And we don't want to be like, we don't want the Gilmours to be the Kardashians, you know?
Yeah.
So if I could find the right way to make it benefit our agents, then
it makes sense.
But right now they're my focus, and they're like, this is our nest egg. This is the brokerage is our baby, you know, and where there's opportunities that come from having the brokerage that are beneficial. So.
And is there any issue when you're doing things like that? Like, because obviously you're pretty big into, for example, the Remax world, and you're under that brand. When you go into a show like that, is there anything you have to take into account from that end of like how to work with the Remax brand while doing a TV show, or there's no?
That's an excellent question, and I probably would think about that more now that I'm a broker and my relationship with Remax is deeper than it was being a salesperson. But the TV world was basically like, it doesn't matter that you live in Toronto, it doesn't matter that you're a Remax broker. This show is for every man, and this is every season, every city. So so drop all that. Like, it doesn't matter what the RICO rules are or the REBA rules are to the person watching in Holland.
Yeah.
So let's picture that person as the person who you're speaking to and drop all the other crap. I barely heard from Remax about it. So they didn't come to me and say you misrepresented or you know. Yeah, there was
They're
nothing.
Just happy you had a bigger profile.
I don't even know if that they cared. I don't think they cared.
Fair enough. I think they'd celebrate having a star in-house.
You would think so, but yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I don't
Missed
know.
opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Integra, come on.
Yeah. So if there's a woman out there who's looking to get into speaking or get on TV, like what would you recommend they do to kind of push that further along?
Okay, so I would say get into writing a couple of stories. Write a couple stories of your experiences where you think there is like a golden lesson, and have a couple people look at that. A couple people like Andrew and I who throw conferences look at it and see if we think there's a strong enough nugget there. And I think get over your appearance. Like, I think that one of the things that most women struggle with, and one of the reasons why there's fewer, I think there's a couple reasons why there's fewer females who put their hand up. But one is getting over, you know, I'm too fat, my hair is too curly, my nose is too big, or whatever. So that stuff you need to get over, and just like accept you are who you are, and people, if you're going to be in a sales business, you're going to be face to face. If you're a human being, you're going to be face to face with other people.
Same with video. Just get on video.
Just get over it. Your voice is your voice. The way you move is the way you move. Your intonation is your intonation. So accept it and embrace it and be you, and don't worry about it. But I think, like, I mean, where I've struggled with, like, could I be a public speaker? And it's just a matter of, like, do I feel like there's a nugget of learning that I could share with people that would be meaningful enough to shift something in their lives, you know? That's the main question. So I think if you write out a couple of your main learning stories, you'll and have people like us vet it, we'll be able to say whether they think there's solid ground to it. And then the book you could read would be the TEDx book, the TED Talks book.
I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
I have. I read it. Yeah, I've read it, and as someone who throws conferences, it was great. It was really, really good to read. And I think if I was going to get into public speaking, I would read it again. And I read it and put like tons and tons of notes through the book. It was great.
Do you want to do more public speaking outside of like your own conference?
I would. To be honest, I'm that person who's a little fearful of it. Do I have time, but aside from running the brokerage and raising my family to, and I think I lack confidence that I have that golden nugget of wisdom or truth to share with people. And here's the thing, I know it's in me. I just haven't identified what the golden nugget is, right?
So we'll force you in, say, Blue Mountain next year. You'll speak at it.
Sure.
We'll make you get up on stage. Oh, it's not even, we don't do a stage, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
I would.
Right.
I would do that. And it's
Blue
good
Mountain
to have a
2020.
deadline.
Jodi Gilmour. Done.